second game up, LendingTree Bowl. Robbie, starting off with you. Rice and Southern Miss. We're seeing Southern Miss minus 6-point favorites, 45.5 being the total. What are we thinking here with the Owls and Southern Miss, the Eagles?
All right, so Rice couldn't get here on their own, so they resorted to their grades, and of course, their grades are going to be better than everybody else's. So here they are, 5-7, lost their last 3 games of the year, stumbled down the stretch. Actually, started off the season pretty good, but if you just want to go back half of the season, Southern Miss goes 5-1 against the spread in their last 6. Played much better under Will Hall as the season progressed, and Rice 2-4 against the spread in their last 6, including those last 3 straight up losses when they were in search of the 6th win and bowl eligibility. They did get it through their grades. The defense was shredded, guys, allowed 30 plus in 5 of their last 6 games. If you're looking for the biggest separation fundamentally between these two, it's probably on the defensive side. Southern Miss has been a really good defensive team all season long. They'll blitz. They're good sideline to sideline. For those that have watched, you know what I'm talking about here. The quickness, the speed, the pass rush. It's all going to be difficult for Rice. And again, now maybe Ralph has this. I don't have this definitive, but my assumption here is that Rice, for the 3rd game, will use true freshman quarterback Austin Padgett. Obviously, Rice went through a lot of quarterback turnover this year. Wiley Green, 6th-year senior, was the original starter to start the year. Injuries got them all the way to the end of the year, where they wound up with Padgett in his first start as a true freshman. In their final game against North Texas, he goes 13 of 22, 229, 1 TD, and an INT. Teams like Rice use this game as a springboard into next year. If you're going to springboard, I don't necessarily think you're going to throw your, 60-year senior who's not coming back next year out on the field. However, just to disagree with that point a little bit here, Drew, and it's why it makes these things tricky. Rice head coach Mike Bloomgren said Rice's motivation is extremely high here because they have so many 60-year seniors. Now, every position isn't quarterback. Playing a 60-year offensive tackle is a little bit different than throwing a quarterback out there who's not coming back to your program next year, can't provide you anything in the spring. So I think Padgett will probably go in this game. Rice's run defense is going to be tested. Southern Miss just doesn't score enough points here, right? They played 11 FBS foes and 1 FCS, Northwestern State. But against the 11 FBS foes, they only scored 30 points one time all season long. It's handed off to Frank Gore Jr., And against the Rice run defense, maybe that'll be enough because Southern Miss's defense figures to create havoc for Rice's freshman quarterback. All that being said, bowl games are a place for trick plays. Will Hall, remember him from Tulane and other stops along the way, is a young one of those offensive whizzes, will probably have some things implemented here for Southern Miss as he looks to improve their offense for next year. For those reasons, Drew, I kind of like Southern Miss here. I think they're the better team fundamentally at all places. I think they're just as motivated. You've got a young head coach, first time here with this team. And I do think that Will Hall will show you a little bit. He'll go into the bag a little bit in this game to try and head into the spring with some offensive confidence.
Ralph, what are you thinking in the LendingTree Bowl, 5:45 Eastern kick here on Saturday?
The Houston Chronicle did say that Padgett is going to start and Trey Lowe is going to start for Southern Miss. Will Hall likes what he's seen. He's played a little bit more down the stretch. So those are the 2 QBs we do expect to see. I'm afraid of this. Southern Miss better team. I do have one shocking number for you, Rob. I completely agree that the Southern Miss defense is so much better. But, they play a bend and break. So yards sometimes can be a deceiving stat. Southern Miss is actually number 70 on the season. They are allowing their opponents 1 yard more than they've gotten on the rest of their season on the average. Rice's defense is number 34, holding foes to 51 yards per game under. Now, some of that could be, listen, when you're going to USC doesn't, they're up six, you win 66-14, you're not piling up yards late. When you knock off Houston and you hold them to 427, you're not piling up yards late. But that North Texas win at the bottom, they held UTSA to a season low, 230 yards. Yeah, UTSA was in a look ahead. And then North Texas, they held to 415, which was 110 yards below their average. So I'm going to say that I'm going to lean under this game. I can't back Rice, and I'm afraid to back Southern Miss. I don't want to lay the highest line that you've laid the entire season with a team who has the offensive lack of prowess. You have Frank Gore rushing for 1,053 yards but 5.1 yards per carry, but that's it. Playing the two young quarterbacks, I would lean under in this game.